Kurinji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurinji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
In continuation to the last class, in this class we start with example 6.6. Regarding this chapter numericals, electromagnetic induction, regarding example problems. Okay, so in the last two classes we completed up to 6.5, example 6.5. Now we start with example 6.6. Example 6.6. Okay, right. See here, first see this example 6.6 ma. A metallic rod of 1 meter length, a metallic rod of 1 meter length is rotated with a frequency of 50 revolutions per second, with a frequency of 50 revolutions per second, with one end hinged at the center and the other end at the circumference of a circular metallic ring of radius 1 meter, about an axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane of the ring as shown in the figure. Okay, so he is saying the position of the rod ma, but anyhow here what I am saying is, okay, a metallic rod of 1 meter, a metallic rod of 1 meter length is rotated with a frequency of 50 revolutions per second, with one end hinged at the center. See here, so first I request you to understand the problem, okay. Here he is talking about metallic rod ma. So the length of the metallic rod is 1 meter, which is rotated with a frequency of 50 revolutions per second, 50 revolutions per second, with one end, try to imagine, please try to imagine, with one end hinged at the center and the other end at the circumference of a circular metallic ring. See here, this is what, other end at the circumference of the circular metallic ring of radius 1 meter, about an axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane of the ring, as shown in the figure, right? This is what figure, full stop. A constant and uniform magnetic field, a constant and uniform magnetic field of 1 Tesla, a constant, and this is that magnetic field ma. So this into marks like gives the direction of the magnetic field. Here a constant and a uniform magnetic field of 1 Tesla parallel to the axis is present everywhere, okay. The question is, what is the EMF between the center and the metallic rod? What is the EMF between the center and the metallic ring? That is the question, okay. So in this problem, first he explained, okay, first he has given the length of the metallic rod, okay, and then they have given frequency, right, 50 revolutions per second. Afterwards he is giving the position of the rod, how the rod is, okay, and he is also saying position of the rod with respect to the ring. Finally he has given the magnitude of the magnetic field and then he is saying that what is the EMF? What is an EMF between the center and the metallic ring? Okay, right. To solve this problem, here we are going to follow two different methods, but the answer is same. Answer must be same. Okay, but we are following two different methods. You please try to understand. Now I am going to explain two methods. For our sake, for our convenience, I am going to explain two different methods. Okay, right. See here, ma. First, method 1. See this. As the rod is rotated, free electrons in the rod move towards the outer end due to the Lorentz force, and get distributed over the ring. Thus, the resulting separation of charges produces an EMF across the ends of the rod. At a certain value of EMF, there is no more flow of electrons and a steady state is reached. Okay, I am coming back. So, just now I told you what's happening there, but I am coming back and I'll explain you line by line. See here. As the rod is rotated, free electrons in the rod move towards the outer end. This is what outer end now. See here, observe carefully. This is the rod, right? So the electrons moves towards the outer end due to the Lorentz force. Okay, and get distributed over the ring. Full stop. Thus, the resulting separation of charges. So before that, the charges are present here. Because of the rotation of the rod, the free electrons which are present in the rod move towards the outer end due to the Lorentz force and get distributed over the ring. Thus, the resulting separation of charges produces an EMF across the ends of the rod. At a certain value of EMF, there is no more flow of electrons. And a steady state is reached. Okay. Now we know the formula. That is what simply you can say that the magnitude of the EMF generated across a length dr. The magnitude of the EMF generated across a length dr, d small r of the rod, as it moves at right angles to the magnetic field. Is given by. I'll repeat once again, ma. See this. The magnitude of the EMF generated across a length dr of the rod, as it moves at right angles to the magnetic field. Observe carefully here. What is the direction of magnetic field? Which is into the paper. I mean here, which is into the board, right? So that's why into, and dot means outside and into means into the board. So the magnetic field is like perpendicular to the board here, but it is inside to the board. And at the same time, you know what he is saying, the rod as it moves right angles to the magnetic field. It is correct only, no? So there is a 90 degrees angle, so which is right angle to the magnetic field. Is given by d epsilon is equal to bv into dr. Okay, right. But we need epsilon. So when you want to find epsilon, means here it is what? EMF. We need EMF. This is what? A small amount of EMF, but we want total EMF. So if you want to find the EMF here, which is integration of d small epsilon, right? Just we have to integrate this. then you will get epsilon, right? Total EMF, right? See here. Integration 0 to r, because if it is 0 means it is r, no? Integration 0 to r, bv into dr, okay. And we also know that v is equal to r omega, v is equal to r omega. So 0 to r, b omega r into dr, that is equal to b omega r square by 2, right? It is what? Capital R, no? So if you integrate this r with respect to dr, it is r square by 2. So in place of smaller you have to write capital R. So b omega capital R square by 2. This is the magnitude of the EMF generated across a length dr of the rod as it moves at right angles to the magnetic field. In our discussion, you please keep in mind the direction is also very important. Okay. Next, note that we have used v is equal to omega into r, right? This gives epsilon is equal to, that is what, 1 by 2 is 1 by 2 into b value is how much? See here, that is 1 Tesla into, that is omega. Omega is 2 pi n. So 2 pi n is what? 50 revolutions per second. See here, into 1 square, that is radius. Radius is what? Length of the rod, which is 1 meter. So 1 square. So it is pi is 22 by 7 2 1 jar 2 11 will come here. So finally it is 14. 22 by it is pi is 22 by 7 now, right? So 2 will get cancelled. It is 22 by 7 means almost 3.14, right? So 3.14 into, it is what? 50. So finally we will get it as 157 volt. 157 volt. This is the magnitude of EMF generated across a length dr of the rod as it moves at right angles to the magnetic field. But this is not dr, it is r, right? So if you take dr, this is the expression, but we calculated epsilon. So this is what? Magnitude of the EMF between the center and the metallic ring. So for this total length, okay, that is radius of the circular ring or length of the rod. For this total, this is the EMF induced, right? So this is the EMF between the center and the metallic ring. Next, the same problem we are going to discuss another method, right? See this. To calculate the EMF, we can imagine a closed loop OPQ. To calculate the EMF, we can imagine a closed loop OPQ in which point O and P are connected with a resistor capital R, okay, with a resistor capital R, and OQ is the rotating rod. OQ is the rotating rod, okay. Now the potential difference across the resistor is then equal to the induced EMF and also equals B into rate of change of area of loop, and also equals to B into rate of change of area of loop. Okay, please try to understand what is the modification he is giving here when compared to the method 1. See here, to calculate the EMF, we can imagine a closed loop OPQ in which point O and P are connected with a resistor capital R and OQ is the rotating rod. Is it okay? So please try to imagine. So it is like a resistor. It is like these two are connected with a resistor capital R and OQ is rotating rod. OQ is a rotating rod. Okay, full stop. Now the potential difference across the resistor. So it is a resistor, no? So the potential difference across these 2 points OP, that is what the potential difference across the resistor is then equal to the induced EMF, and also equals B into rate of change of area of loop. B into rate of change of area of loop. Okay. Now, if theta is the angle between the rod and the radius of the circle, if theta is the angle between the rod and the radius of the circle at P, right? If theta is the angle between the rod and the radius of the circle at P at a time t, the area of the sector OPQ, the area of the sector OPQ is given by pi r square into theta by 2 pi, pi r square into theta by 2 pi. So pi will get cancelled. Finally, 1 by 2 r square into theta, 1 by 2 r square into theta. Okay. If theta is the angle between the rod and the radius of the circle at P at time t, please try to understand what I am saying. If theta is the angle, okay, if theta is the angle between the rod, see the picture. When I am saying information, you have to observe the picture. If theta is the angle between the rod and the radius of the circle, see here, and the radius of the circle at a P at a time t. Now, the area of the sector OPQ, is given by pi r square into theta by 2 pi, then pi will get cancelled. Finally, we will get it as 1 by 2 r square theta, 1 by 2 r square theta. Okay, right. Now, r is the radius of the circle, hence the induced EMF epsilon is equal to, take this formula, epsilon is equal to B into d by dt of r square theta by 2, Then if we complete this differentiation, what will happen? 1 by 2 b r square into d theta by dt, that is equal to b omega r square by 2, because you know that angular velocity is the rate of change of angular displacement. Okay, so in place of d theta by dt we are writing omega, then finally we are getting b omega r square by 2. This is what induced EMF, right? So you can also say in the bracket d theta by dt is equal to omega, that is equal to 2 pi nu. Okay, so anyhow this is the induced EMF. So this expression is identical to the expression obtained by method 1, and we get the same value of epsilon. Okay, so up to this, whatever the expression we got, here also we got the same expression now. So what is the next part? To get the numerical value of induced EMF between the center and the metallic ring. So in this you have to substitute the values. In place of b we have to substitute 1, in place of omega we have to substitute 2 pi into 50, because omega is equal to 2 pi nu, and in place of r we have to substitute 1. So by substituting all the values what they have given according to the question, you will get the same answer. So what is the answer we got in the method 1? The same answer we will get. Okay, the same answer we will get in method 2 also. That's why, so whatever the method you follow, whether method 1 or method 2, we are getting the same answer, that is 157 volt. Okay, right. Next problem, that is example 6.7. See here, a wheel with 10 metallic spokes, each 0.5 meters long, is rotated with a speed of 120 revolutions per minute in a plane normal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field He at a place, full stop. If He is equal to 0.4 G at the place, what is the induced EMF between the axle and the rim of the wheel, right? If He is equal to 0.4 G at the place, what is the induced EMF between the axle and the rim of the wheel. Note that 1 Gauss is equal to 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla. 1 Gauss is equal to 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla. Okay, right. This is what important note. What I am saying is, first you try to understand the question, then automatically you can easily understand solution. See here, a wheel with 10 metallic spokes. You please try to understand, you please try to imagine a cycle wheel. There are two wheels, no, front wheel and back wheel. So you just imagine a front wheel, no problem, back wheel or front wheel, both are same, right? You have to imagine a cycle wheel, but you have to imagine only 10 spokes. 10 spokes. Each is 0.5 meters long. Each is 0.5 meters long and is rotated with a speed of 120 revolutions per minute. 120 revolutions per minute in a plane normal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. In the chapter of magnetism, we came to know what is the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Okay, anyhow, we believe that Earth is behaving like a huge magnet. Further, we are also having an assumption, that is what the behavior of Earth is like when we buried a huge magnet inside the Earth. Then how it behaves? In such a manner, Earth is behaving like a magnet. So magnet means automatically when there is a magnet, a magnetic field will be formed, and you know very well magnetic field is a three-dimensional vector quantity. Magnetic field is a three-dimensional vector quantity. So we have both the horizontal component and vertical component. But here the topic is, here the thing is, he is saying that, so this wheel which has 10 metallic spokes of each 0.5 meters long is in rotational motion. Is rotated with a speed of 120 revolutions per minute in a plane normal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field HE at a place. Okay, so you just imagine, because this is also important, normal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field at a place. Okay, if HE is equal to 0.4 G, if horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is 0.4 Gauss. So that you can, if you want, you can convert into Tesla. So 1 Gauss is equal to 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla at a place. Okay, at the place, full stop. Now what is the question finally? What is the induced EMF? What is the induced EMF between the axle and the rim of the wheel? I hope you are able to imagine what is the axle of the wheel and rim of the wheel. Axle of the wheel and rim of the wheel. The question is, what is the induced EMF between the axle and rim of the wheel? Okay, right. So just now we discussed one problem. Example 6.6 in the same class. Just before this example, we discussed example 6.6. So there we got the conclusion regarding the same scenario. That is what there also, you know, we just imagine a rod and we imagine a circular ring. There itself we calculated the magnitude of EMF between the center and the metallic ring. So here also we are getting the same. That's why we can use the same formula what we got in our previous example problem. So that's what we are using here. Induced EMF is equal to 1 by 2 into omega B R square. Okay, now we are going to substitute the given values what they have given. 1 by 2, omega means 2 pi nu. Here what is the nu? I mean what is the frequency? 120 revolutions per minute. 120 revolutions per minute means how many number of revolutions per second? So 120 divided by 60 seconds. 60 seconds. So finally here you are getting 2 revolutions per second. So the frequency is 2. That's why here omega is equal to 2 pi n means it will become like 4 pi into, that is what next, r square. Okay, before that r there is also magnetic field. magnetic field is 0.4 Gauss, but we are taking in Tesla because remaining all are in SI unit now. So the magnetic field also we have to take in SI. So 0.4 into 10 to the power of minus 4, 0.4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into R is a what? Is a length of the metallic spoke, which is 0.5, and square is there. Don't forget that square is there. So by substituting all these things, you just complete the mathematical calculation. So finally here we are getting 6.28 into 10 to the power of minus 5, 6.28 into 10 to the power of minus 5 volt. That is what we calculated EMF. Okay. So at last what he is saying, the number of spokes is immaterial because the EMF across the spokes are in parallel. The number of spokes here is immaterial. So why he is saying like this? Because that number we didn't use here. That number is 10. We didn't use here. That's why it is immaterial. Because the EMF across the spokes are in parallel. The EMF across the spokes are in parallel. Okay, right. So in this class we discussed two example problems. So example 6.6 and example 6.7. So in this example 6.6, there is a metallic rod and circular ring. So we calculated the EMF, right? We calculated EMF between the center and the metallic ring. But here we approached two different methods. Okay. Here regarding this first problem, we followed and we solved the problem in two different methods, but answer is same. Okay. So in the first method, just by differentiating the EMF generated across a length dr of the rod as it moves at right angles to the magnetic field, we got expression for total EMF, that is B omega r square by 2. Afterwards, by substituting the given values, we got the EMF induced between the center and the metallic ring. In second method, just by calculating, that is what, just by calculating rate of change of area of the loop, and after that by using the formula B into rate of change of area of loop, that will give us induced EMF. We got the expression B omega r square by 2. Afterwards we substituted the given values, given data, then finally we got EMF as the same value, 157 volts. Okay, when the formula is same, the answer will be same, no, because the numerical values what they have given also same. Afterwards we discuss the next example 6.7. So here also in a similar manner we use the same expression, right, but the situation will be different. Here a wheel with 10 metallic spokes, each is 0.5 meters long, and this is the frequency and this is the magnetic field. So substituting and getting the answer. Okay. So after that the conclusion, the small conclusion is the number of spokes is immaterial because the EMF across the spokes are in parallel. Okay, right. Thank you. In our next class we will continue with the next example problem, that is example 6.8.